Kia ora koutou, my name is Vivian McDermott, and today I'm going to share with you some strategies that I've been using in the classroom for teaching a group-based achievement standard at level 1, which is called Plan and Carrying Out a Business Activity. This involves the students being put into groups, and it takes around about 6 to 8 weeks to complete. The purpose of their project is to come up with a business idea, to create a business plan, to produce a product, to market the product, to sell the product, and then to produce all the financials that go with that, and make sure that they then reflect on how well they went at meeting their business plan. The group project is submitted as one business plan, and the students can have access to achieve merit and excellence, and the minimum, well, the highest grade that any student can get is what the business plan grade is. So when I co-constructed them into groups, I got the students to look at their skills and levels, and also what grade they were going for. And in their groups they had a range of roles, from managing director to production manager to marketing and sales manager, financial manager. So we looked at all those different roles, and we tried to get the students to select what sort of role they think would be best suited to them. Then they handed that in, and they also said that they named one student in the class that they wanted to work with, and I said I'd guarantee that that one person would be in their group, and then they'd be mixed up with others. They were really good at expressing themselves, and we negotiated the groups. We did it up on a PowerPoint projector, and then some of the groups did change based on grades that they were going to try and get, and also based on the roles. Some of them were put into groups and started in one role, and then found that they were more of a natural leader than the managing director, so they swapped around roles. And they realised that some were good, had different skills that they weren't aware of, and they changed roles. So the business plan, all the resources that went into the product, or into the project, I guess, I put onto a Trello board. Then I got them to make for their group their own Trello board. So I've used IT as much as possible to try and assist their learning, which frees me up in the classroom to actually go around and help their individual group needs. So the project was very much cross-curricular. Even though we taught it within the Commerce Department, there were elements of it that touched on technology curriculum, the maths curriculum. There was a lot of market research done, and analysing of those market research results and graphing of them to try and make sense of the data, so that it would help them determine which product that they did. There was also links to the social science curriculum. Obviously business is part of that, and looking at target markets and demographics and how people would react to their product. For some students, they did choose food, so there was a little bit of science, I guess the technology for making the product as well. Some of it was food and some of it wasn't. So it did sort of impinge on a few other curriculum levels, and where needed, if the students needed more information from those other areas, they were guided to who they could go and talk to. So I wanted to direct you to some of the teaching pedagogy behind what we've been doing. So the first segment I've talked about what the content was and what the project was and how the students needed to interact in that. But from a teacher's point of view, I just wanted to highlight some of the key teaching concepts that have been applied to this project. So first thing is collaboration. From the very beginning, from putting them into groups to the very end, there's been a lot of collaboration. Most of the collaboration has been between student to student, not just within their groups, but I've been finding that students have been going to other groups to get their advice, their opinions, how do you do such and such. So it's been a lot of the students learning off students, and they've also been cooperatively working with me and engaging in discussions around what they could do, what do I think of their ideas, what do I think of this or that. And so it's been quite good. Where would they get this information? Who would they go and see about this? They've sort of asked me for those things. The Trello board's been really useful, because I'll just say, oh, that's on Trello, have a look up, and it's freed me up. The groups were co-constructed, as I said before, and everything along the way has been co-constructed, from resources to product ideas to how they could market their goods, sell their goods, how they could set up their store. I've also had a charity element to it, so the students do get to keep some of their profit, but some of their profit has to be linked to a charity. So the students have organised which charity they want their group to donate to. Some of them have tied their business idea to that charity, and some of them are just looking at giving some money over. Another aspect of the project is connectedness. The students feel very connected to what they're doing. They are setting their own group objective. They have their own common purpose for the group. They are negotiating together on how they can get from A to B to C to D. They are constantly interacting with each other, having discussions, and bringing in their own experiences to the project. They can also see the link to the real world by having a market day, real life consumers or customers, looking at target market and how best to get their product known in the marketplace. Students have found, going through the project, that there have been little challenges and problems along the way, and they've had to apply some decision-making skills in order to make those decisions, try to eliminate the problems and move forward. We have focused on looking at applying a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, to try and make the students more aware of what those challenges are and what plan they can put into place to remove some of those barriers and make those decisions that they need to make. Because the students are working together, along the way they are co-creating the knowledge, they're finding that information out for themselves, they're making the decisions, and they are becoming a lot more self-determining in what they do.